Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Well, hello and welcome into the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Big night tonight, the eve of the night, or the night before. The Steelers take on the Patriots tomorrow in New England. I do feel like every time these two teams go up against each other, it's just like NFL cinema. It is so exciting every time these two teams play each other, and it's going to be a different look. Mike Vrabel now at the helm for the Patriots. No more Brady and Belichick. So who knows? Maybe the Steelers can go into Foxborough and pull out their first win since 2008. That would be very impressive. If you heard Richie, Tomlin 3-10 against the Patriots, but 3-0 against Mike Vrabel. So we'll see how that pans out. The Pirates did get a win tonight against the A's in their final home series of this season. That snapped a 5-game skid, and they entered that game with just one win out of their last 13 games. So really nice that they got that shutout victory. Bubba Chandler on the bump, and he looked great. 6 Ks through 5 innings. So very impressive by him. But it's football season, and we're talking football. Pitt and Penn State were off today. WVU got slammed by Kansas. So not a whole lot of college football, but a lot of Steelers to talk about, and we'll break it all down for you. I'm joined alongside Chris Adamski. And Chris, I don't know about you, I think this game is just perfect for the Steelers to be able to right the ship after that honestly terrible performance we saw in Acrisure last week against Seattle.
Yeah, it definitely has a chance to. New England's a very beatable team. I don't think it's going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. New England's kind of an up-and-coming team. I think Drake May might be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, maybe, or at least could be he's one of the better young quarterbacks in the NFL right now, and he could develop into one of the better ones. The Patriots have a good pass rush, which has been sort of an issue for the Steelers so far. That's fair to say this season. But yes, it would be, especially for would be a short week and a big travel week, as everybody knows, coming up next week. It would be good to kind of get back on the winning side of things instead of going there in a 2-game losing streak up to Ireland, or out to Ireland, or to Ireland.
Out to Ireland, yeah. Ireland, yeah. Guys, remember too, you can tap your phone, scan that QR code. Who will win tomorrow? Simple and straight answer. Patriots or Steelers? Looks like the Patriots at 100% right now. So we'll see as the votes come in throughout Nightly Sports Call tonight. We'll check in with that and see what the colors are thinking. But Chris, I do think I'm very interested to see how these offenses are going to play tomorrow. You have Mike Vrabel, who, is a very defensive-minded head coach, and Mike Tomlin, who is also that way. Now, the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, so maybe that offense is going to look, more explosive. But like you said, Drake May, up-and-comer. You have Vrabel, so I really think this is going to be a low-scoring game, but no matter what, this Steelers defense needs to come out strong.
Yeah, a couple of the offense, I'd like to see, if you're a Steelers fan, them push the ball downfield a little bit more. Aaron Rodgers has the lowest average yards per completion in the NFL. He's one of the lowest average time from snap to pass in the NFL. So it's been a lot of quick passes, little short thing. Of course, you had the shovel pass touchdown against the Jets. DK Metcalf, who was brought in to be a number 1 wide receiver, a lot of his catches have been to sort of the bubble screen. And he's had good yards after catch. He has a touchdown. He's made an impact, but you'd still like to see maybe a little bit pushing it more downfield, maybe take a shot to Calvin Austin and that kind of thing offensively. And defensively, yes, the Steelers really need a game. There's 30 points each of these last 2 games, and one touchdown on special teams. But still, the defense hasn't performed by their own admission to their expectations, so it would be good to see them kind of shut down an opponent, or at least narrow the points down, get some more sacks. So they had a couple turnovers last game, yeah, but a few more splash plays, maybe a TJ Watt play. A lot of these things would be just what the doctor ordered for the Steelers.
Yeah, they entered the season, preseason rankings. Take it what you will, grain of salt and all that. But they did enter the season in the preseason rankings at number 1 with their defense, and quickly flipped after just 2 weeks. I think they're 29th right now in the league. So that's quite a difference. And a big reason for that, too, is the middle of the field. I feel like, they kept getting attacked in the middle of the field. Seattle's offense, they just knew where to hit them in the middle of the field. Do you believe, being out at Steelers practice all week this week, we've heard them claim that it's a communication issue. Especially on that back end, those 4 corner, or the 4 DBs in there. At one point, they had 4 guys, defensive backs, playing that had not played for the Steelers last year. So a lot of new guys in here. They're blaming, the communication issues. Do you believe they actually were able to get that fixed this week?
It certainly was a topic of conversation. They certainly know there's something to do that. It was, I would say, this Terrell Austin, he's a friendly, affable guy who's great. And he cursed twice. He said two potty words when talking about the lack of communication. So it was something really stuck in his craw. It was something that all the defenders up and down, from Patrick Queen to Jalen Rand, all of them were talking about. They need to fix that. That can't happen again, some of those things. And that was something that plagued them late last season against the Ravens, those 2 blowout losses or bad losses they had against their big rival late in the regular season and in the playoffs. It was communication. So it was something that, now there's a lot of reasons for it. There's a whole entirely new secondary in that game. All 5 DBs that played weren't with the Steelers the year before. So you get it. They're all in the field together for the first time, a short preseason. I mean, even Ramsey signed or got acquired in a trade. It was almost August at that point. Almost July at that point, and Chuck Clark joined the team. It was almost August at that point. So there's a lot of reasons for that, but still, it's something that can't happen, of course, an NFL team in a game, and it can't happen this Sunday again either.
Yeah, I think one thing, too, Steelers fans can kind of take solace in the fact that TA also mentioned that he doesn't think that this is the same type of loser, the same type of defense. They're not getting beat the same way as they did at the end of last season. You mentioned those 2 games. TA said, they were beat up at that point, and these offenses were kind of just rolling all over them, where he says right now it's just not that way. It's a communication issue, and that alone. So at least it doesn't seem to be the same issues. Like, yeah, it looks like the same issues, but the reasoning, it's an easier fix is what TA was saying. So hopefully we do see that, and they were able to fix it this week, but we'll find out tomorrow. Guys, we're going to head to our first break, but give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you guys. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. Wilson squared. How awesome is that? How awesome. Jack Wilson, of course, played here for the Pirates back in the day, early 2000s, and now his son playing for the A's. I mean, if you guys saw that matchup that MLB tweeted out, I believe it was Friday night, the video of him throwing the first pitch to his dad when he was here in Pittsburgh, and now they got to do the reverse this weekend. So that was pretty awesome to see. And yeah, it's so crazy that baseball, it's already towards the end of the season. I mean, no October baseball for us here in Pittsburgh, unfortunately, but I think it was kind of predicted all season. Hopefully they can make some moves in this offseason. But getting back to the Steelers, which I think we have a little bit higher hopes for this Steelers season than how the Pirates season went. But you mentioned the offense, Chris, before we went to break, and specifically one guy. I'm very interested to see how they're going to use him. I think you can anticipate who I'm going to say, but Caleb Johnson, rookie, comes in here, had a big mess up against Seattle. And granted, the momentum was already kind of shifting towards Seattle when that blunder happened on the kick return team, and Seattle hopped on it, got the touchdown. That kind of put the game out of reach. I think they went up 10 at that point. But, I mean, before that, the momentum was, you felt it. So it wasn't all Caleb, but Tomlin did come out and say that, he won't be returning kicks in the near future. But he also added that he's willing to leave the light on for a guy like that. He has a very good work ethic, and he praised Caleb. And look, we've been out there since training camp. We've seen this guy work. I think he has a great work ethic. I think him and Jalen work really well together. Their chemistry, both on the field and off the field, are awesome to see. And I think, honestly, he might have gotten a little overhyped in the preseason. A lot of people were really excited about him. He did great in the preseason, but to come into the game and have a huge blunder like that, it was pretty bad. And I'm just really interested to see how they're going to use him even at running back tomorrow, because you have to imagine, especially as a rookie, making a big mistake like that. A lot of people have been talking about it all week long. I don't want to say it, but you almost wonder if he has the yips a little bit going into tomorrow's game. Yeah,
there's a few things. Like he was really stood out, sort of, and he was their second pick, first of all. It was a third-round pick. They didn't have a second-round pick, so that therefore there was always going to be more attention on him. playing a skill position like running back, that's a position that always people are looking at. They lost Najee Harris in free agency, so you figured he was going to play a big role during the old football in shorts, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, over the summer, and organized team activities and mini camp, and even those first couple camp practices, which is also non-contact or non-padded at least. He was sort of standing out, and then once camp went on, then you saw some issues maybe with his vision and things like that, maybe some growing pains coming up to the next level, and then he only played 3 snaps on offense these first 2 games, only had 2 carries, still has a -1 yards for the season. You combine then his gaffe on the kick return. Then today the Steelers did make a minor roster move. They promoted Trey Sermon, a veteran running back, to the active roster. That to me probably foretells that we might not even see Caleb Johnson in uniform tomorrow against the Patriots if they have 3 other running backs to use. And really, if they're only going to play him 3 snaps, he doesn't play any other special teams, he's not going to return kicks. It's sort of the writings on the wall that we might not even see him. Now, that doesn't mean his career's over, or to me it's a give up, the Steelers are giving up on him, or he's a bust or anything, but it means that as of now that he might, we'll see, but I have a sneak suspicion he's probably not going to be in uniform tomorrow against the Patriots.
Yeah, I remember talking to him in Jacksonville after that first preseason game where he got stuffed a lot, and he said he was really visibly disappointed in his play and said, look, I have no other excuse except for the fact that this game is very fast. Like, you could tell he really did not anticipate how much quicker the game is played in the NFL than at the college level, and especially at Iowa. Like, yeah, their schemes might be similar to how the Steelers, run their offense, but at the end of the day, the competition is so vastly different. And he had these wide eyes at the end of after that game, and you could tell he was not overwhelmed, but maybe just a little bit like, whoa, this is a lot. And that was the first preseason game. So you kind of hoped that he would settle in those next 2 preseason games and get ready for the season. But yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, -1 yards right now. So not looking too great with Caleb. Now, another rookie, the first-round pick, Derek Harmon, such an unfortunate injury that he suffered. But there's a chance, I guess, on the flip side, we could see him out there tomorrow, apparently.
Yeah, he was a full practice participant on Friday, which most scenarios you listed as questionable going back through Steelers history under Mike Tomlin. That usually means the player plays. Now, the only reason there's maybe a caveat here is he never played an NFL regular season game before. So maybe as a rookie, they want to make sure he goes through an entire week, make sure he's completely 100%. Whereas if he was a veteran, he might be 80% or whatever it is, he can play. And so maybe there's a chance that they don't. But considering the Steelers, we talked about their struggles stopping the run, that's what he should be there for. He could give the Steelers the boost. They really could use him. They've had injuries on the defensive line anyway, as Isaiah Loudermilk's on IR now. So they could use Derek Harmon. The fact that he did practice this week and practice Friday, it probably will be there. He might not play as much as he would maybe otherwise. It's his first game and coming off an injury like that. But certainly, he was another guy who definitely impressed throughout camp and throughout the summer and everything. He has a higher pedigree, the first-round pick, so that could definitely be a big boost for the Steelers. And hey, it could be his first game of who knows how long, if he's as good as being a first. I mean, Cam Hayward's a first-round pick as a defensive lineman here 15 years, so maybe I don't say that long, but it could be maybe 5, 6, maybe a decade or so. It could all start tomorrow in New England.
Yeah, and I could see the Steelers arguing, hey, let's wait. We don't want to throw him in there too fast. Maybe we give him a full week at practice before actually putting him in a game. But I think where the situation is a little bit different is that side of the ball is just riddled with injuries right now. I mean, yes, on the line they're thin, but 7 defensive injuries overall heading into this week at practice, and still a lot of guys questionable going into tomorrow. So I would not be surprised if he actually gets in there and plays quite a few snaps, just because they have no one else. Like, it's next man up at this point already in this early season. So hopefully the injury bug is hitting these guys early, and then, we get them out of the way, and then there's not so many towards the end of the season. But man, I just feel like I can't remember a Steelers season where there's this many injuries on the defensive side this early.
It's crazy, too. That's all like defense, too.
Yeah.
They've been relatively unscathed offensively, and it seems like every game now, and this will be 2 games in a row, 2.5 games essentially, because they both came out, Joey Porter Jr. and Deshaun Elliott. That's 2 starting secondary players. They're expected to play every single snap this season pretty much, or relatively every single snap, and now they've been 2 games without them. It's been a kind of a ripple effect with guys, and it'd be silly to think that wasn't part of the communication issue, just having 2 guys that returning starters like that aren't part of the secondary and other guys filling in. So, and yeah, up and down. I mean, last game, the 2 inside linebackers missed time in the middle of it, and Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, they seem okay now, but it was just the defensive line we talked about. They already lost a couple players there. So, I mean, and Alex Highsmith's out for this game. And
I was going to say, now Alex is out. Thank God Nick Herbig is coming back. I mean, because he was injured, but thankfully, you know, he looks to be back and can fill that role too. But all right, guys, we're going to head to our next break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood. Joined alongside me is Chris Adamski. Let's get to the phone lines, Chris. We have Kirk and Maynard. Kirk, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys doing tonight? Hey, I just want to ask you real quick what you guys thought. Mike Tomlin has no concept about any defensive capability as far as the Steelers go. The run defense is horrible. Do you agree or no?
I mean, like we said at the top of the show, the run defense definitely needs to improve. Look, I think at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin is a defensive-minded coach, and I think nothing gets him more frustrated, more upset than performances like these last 2 games. So I think that's why I think tomorrow expect a low-scoring game, and I just feel like this Steelers defense, if they don't get it fixed tomorrow, especially the run defense fixed tomorrow, there's going to be some real issues over on the south side, Chris.
Yeah, we've made a lot of big deal out of it, and it's true. They're the highest paid defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
There are Pro Bowlers and former Pro Bowlers and All Pros and future Hall of Famers, to be honest, up and down that whole lineup. And you know these guys collectively or individually are better than they've shown the first 2 games. They all know that. They're committed. They get better. It doesn't reflect, let's be frank, it doesn't reflect well on the coaching staff whenever there's communication issues. But it's been, you know, there's 2 weeks in now. We'll see. If it gets to be 3 weeks, then we could have a problem. But you're right. If they could have a good showing tomorrow, I think a lot of it's all forgotten. Yeah,
and like we said at the top of the show, too, tomorrow's the opportunity to right the ship before they head on a ship. No, I'm kidding. To Ireland, though, because that's going to be huge. I mean, it's going to be really, really difficult to work on communication issues when you're overseas like that. So hopefully they can fix it tomorrow. But guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Chris, thank you. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I'll see you next time. Same place, same time.